She asked a very good question. She said, how can we as women open up this conversation in our homes with her father, with other men? It's hard to open up these conversations. She grew up with a Mexican father, you said, that's kind of macho, and it's scary sometimes to start these conversations, or you think your father might say like, ah, or whatever. So how do we begin to have this conversation go from here to our homes?
You know, that's a really good question. You know, my wife didn't give up on me. She continued, and she continued to give me the love, the support, but also the hard questions. The hard questions, the things that made me think. And, you know, I've seen a lot of women just give up and just decide to go in the shell. And this is what I was saying about being fearless, is that you have to stand up for you. You have to be, even if you're in a misogynist culture and people are tending to treat you wrong and treat you as you are less than, never stand for that. Never stand for it. You ask the hard questions. Ask them what makes you think you can do this and I can't. And that's kind of like a bit of a short circuit on somebody who's in that cult. It's like, they might tell you, hey, to be quiet, don't talk to me, you know, that kind of thing. But it's one of those things that over time, it wears down. Now, and to be honest, there's a lot of guys who are like, I'm not putting up with it, I'm out. You see it happen all the time. And I'm here to tell you, as women, you're probably better off. That's just the reality. There are people in my life that I knew I couldn't be around, that I thought were good for me. And then one other time you realize, wait a minute. Like, let me tell you, I'm going to be real honest right now. My mother just passed away 2 days before Thanksgiving. I write about my mom in the book. She was beaten, knocked out. And I was 14, I was like, Ma, can we please leave? Can we just go? She said, well, we're going to be broke. I said, I don't care, we're broke now. We could be broke anywhere else. Leave him. She wouldn't do it. She was broke down. And let me tell you something. She never saw herself as worth more, even to the day she died. And it breaks my heart because he was still pretty abusive to this day. And, you know, we have our issues, the whole thing. But I look at that and I see a woman who had all her dreams beaten out of her. And I don't want to see that happen to any woman on earth ever again.
Wow. Well, I know they're going to, I want to thank Terry Crews for taking time and Rebecca for sharing his pain, his courage, and his strength. And I think this is what we all need, is to see examples of this that are out there doing, that have a voice. It's really important because I think as Jackson and Jerry and Teresa, there's a lot of people in the, quote, you know, trying to gender equity conversation, but we need more men like you to step up and speak out and to bring this conversation so that men can leave here today, go like, wow, I never thought about that, about my cult, about where I belong. And women can go out here and think, wow, I can be fearless. I don't have to take that. He changed, and if I'm worth it, that person will change too. So this is a very powerful conversation. I want to thank Brentwood School for doing this. I want to thank, I'm really proud of all the young women and the young men who stepped up and who came together and understood that this is good for both genders and this is good for everybody, that we continue to do this. And I hope we don't have to wait another year. And I hope you'll come back to the Young Women's Conference.
I'm coming back,
and speak.
right?
So go ahead,
Then we can hang out. It'll be all good.